Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're dropping into something that might make you giggle or gag, but something that's known to be super kawaii in Japan. Yes, we're talking about unko, which means poop in Japanese, and also the quirky Unko Museum. I also dumped a bunch of snippets from my interview with an unko lover. It's at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that, even if you start to feel a bit crappy. Let's start with the museum. The Unko Museum, or Unko Hakubutsukan, is an interactive and playful museum located in Tokyo. It's all about, you guessed it, poop! But don't worry, it's not as gross as it sounds. The museum takes a lighthearted and artistic approach to celebrate Unko, with colorful displays, art installations, and even some Instagram-worthy poop sculptures. It's a place where people can learn about the history and importance of poop in Japanese culture, all while having fun with interactive exhibits. From giant rainbow-colored poop to trivia games and even a poop-themed photo booth, this place is a poop lover's dream come true. I went with my family and the kids loved it. Now, you might be wondering, why poop? Why is it so celebrated in Japanese culture? Well, unko has actually been important in Japan for centuries, and not just as a subject of jokes or memes. In fact, it's a symbol of good luck and prosperity. Good digestion meant a healthy body, and a healthy body was seen as essential to live a healthy life. There's even a cultural phenomenon that is kin no unko, or the golden poop. These are good luck charms that are poop-shaped and covered in gold. Even the word unko starts with the same un sound as a completely unrelated word that means luck. So the Unko Museum isn't just about goofy fun. It also educates people about hygiene, health, and the importance of waste disposal. It might sound strange, but it's actually a really clever way of talking about sanitation and hygiene in a lighthearted way. Unko no life. This is Alisa. Alisa is a program manager in the STEM education field. She's also a longtime friend of mine. We went to school in Japan for about 15 years together. And Alisa is an unko lover. So I decided to ask her a few questions about what unko means to her. Hello, Alisa. Thank you so much for doing this interview.
Hi, Julie. It's my pleasure.
I can't believe we're doing this. As soon as I went to the Unko Museum with my family, I was thinking about you. You've never been to the museum.
No, I haven't. I've always wanted to go. I feel like everyone brings it up to me.
Do you know why they bring it up to you?
Because I do unko jokes all the time. I would like to go with my kid one day.
Can you tell me a bit about what unko meant to you, like when you were a child?
So I guess why all these people keep bringing it up to me is, I guess I've always made unko jokes for as long as I can remember. I find it funny, but it's just always been sort of a joke that I guess as a child I found out made people laugh, and I think I enjoyed just getting people to laugh, and it was easy for me to make little poop jokes.
That's really cute, actually, because you wanted people to smile and laugh, right? You wanted to bring happiness to other people.
Well, sure, but I guess like as a kid, you're trying to make friends, right? I guess like as a young child, I thought like, if I get people to laugh, that means they like me and we could be friends. So yeah, that's definitely where that came from.
Do you remember the first few times you actually used that as a kind of joke or to make people laugh?
Can't remember, but I did ask my mother about this. Like, when did I start making these jokes and stuff? And she said around when I was 4 or 5 years old, so kindergarten. And actually it was when I switched schools from preschool to kindergarten. And I asked her like, well, what was it? Was it like a TV show? Was it like friends, and she's like, I'm pretty sure there was somebody at kindergarten that influenced you, but it was very vague. Like, she doesn't know. That's what my mom said. Because I was trying to think also of like TV shows, right? Like cartoons we used to watch. And the one that had like prominent unko, I don't know, do you remember Dr. Slump?
I don't know.
So Dr. Slump, so you know, I was doing a bit of my history of the poop emoji, and so Dr. Slump has like a character called like Unchiku or something. It's like that, and I watched it, but I found out that show didn't come out till, well, it's a really old show, but then there was a reboot that I watched in the late 90s, but this is way past kindergarten. Or I'm aging myself in this interview, but at this point it's like, it was like 98 or something, and that's past kindergarten for me. So it can't be that TV show. I can't think of any other like anime I watched around kindergarten that had so much unko.
Yeah,
Or,
that's
like,
so
I don't know,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Sazakai-san or like Doraemon toka, like there's no unko. They're very kid friendly, like very like mild.
Yeah. What about Kureon Shin-chan? That was pretty.
あれうんこあった？
Oh.
あれゾウさんあったじゃん。Everywhere in Japan, like you see that unko, like the poo emoji, right? Which was like created in Japan, and now like people use it, but like that like cute little thing. I can imagine like as a kid, a lot of kids are like, oh, like it's cute and funny, right? For poo. So maybe I was like seeing it a lot and like absorbing it. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's because we've seen that unko maku. I'm sure like also manga toka or like other TV shows, even if they don't explicitly include unko so much, right? Like when they have to depict unko in Japan, I feel like they go for that cute little soft cream thing rather than like
a realistic
one. Yeah. So I think it's like more prevalent than we think. And there's I think a character that had like it on a stick or something.
How did unko impact your childhood interactions with family and friends?
Okay, I don't know family. I think they just kind of like accepted it. And like they're just like cool.
Did you do
Weird,
it? Did you mention it with your family too though?
I'm pretty sure I talked about unko. Like, I mean, I asked my mom, like, when I started doing unko, for her, it's like so natural to kind of be like, oh yeah, it was about this. Like, oh, so you admit that I'm talking about it a lot. I guess we were always very open about that. If I was to spin this positively with friends, you know, like I mentioned, like it's like a joke. I thought it would make people laugh. For most cases, they laugh, and I felt like with friends that I felt comfortable enough to do that unko joke, then I don't know, for me that was like reaching like comfort with friends that you could be open even about like food. Yeah, like even thinking like when I went to college, it's not like when I was meeting people for the first time I would make unko jokes. That would have been really weird. You know, getting closer to some friends, like it would just like just come out, but then they would also laugh along. And I'm like, oh, dude, they're still my friends, like, and they find it funny too. So,
are these American people?
Yeah, I distinctly remember in college, like with one of my first friends, we were like joking about it and drawing that little poop emojis on a whiteboard. But you know, by then, that's emojis already around, right?
But do people actually use it in the US?
From my experience, I feel like when I was in Japan, I saw it more. People definitely use it instead of, you know, like cursing. So I guess people use it not as funny, but like to convey feelings of like, oh, I don't feel great, or like, oh, everything's going terribly right now, and then poop emoji. This is so random. I was just talking about it, and I was like, found on my desk. This is a gift from my friend from college.
I remember, like, even in high school, a lot of our conversations were just laughing from unko jokes, but there was no context to it. You were always there. No, which is kind of, it's weird to say, but it's I think it's a compliment. Because, yeah, every time you were there, we were all laughing hysterically, and it was often unko in the conversation. What emotions or memories does talking about Unko bring up for you now?
I probably like peak Unko years for me was high school. If I think about it now, then yeah, of course I think about like you or like, you know, some of her other friends. And I guess the emotion would be like, natsukashi. It's so hard to translate that in English.
Like nostalgic?
Oh, nostalgic, yeah, and like, but it's all happy memories and also hilarious, but also at the same time kind of like that's so odd that we were so joking about it, but thank God, I guess we had each other to laugh about
Right.
it. That's funny because even like when I meet, you know, with you all, like even now, I always feel like it comes up as a topic without meaning to. One of the first things you told me about Stanley was about how he pooped all over Seehan. Specifically wanted to let me know.
And also when I was potty training Stanley, I don't know if you remember, but he pooed in the potty and it was a perfect like emoji.
Oh, you told me, yes.
And yeah, I sent that to you. Like he said, it's all positive. It's not like, it's not ill. It's kind of, it becomes funny.
Yeah, which I would hope that's a good thing. I'm sure there would be people who are listening to this or watching this and be like, oh my gosh, like that's nasty, that's gross. I totally get that. But I think that in the Japanese culture, I mean, there's now a whole museum for it, right? They've somehow made it into something funny and almost something cute, which is hilarious. And I think in a lot of cases in Japanese cultures, things get cute. And I think that's fine. I think that's a positive thing in the end, right? Like I'm starting to think about potty training my kid. And one of the first things like in this book I'm reading is like, you shouldn't shame your kid for pooping because then they'll never want to poop. And it's like bad for you. So, you know, if they want to go poop, you should be like, like, be all positive about it.
Did you ever feel like others didn't understand your references to Unko?
Definitely, you know, like there's some people who don't find it funny. So you kind of like go, ha ha ha, but their look is kind of like, what is this person talking about? I don't know what kind of jokes we were making, but it was like Unko, but not necessarily about our bowel habits.
Yeah,
it was just in general. I don't know how that happened. That's like hilarious. Or even like the word Unko is so cute too. Yeah. Right? Especially in Japanese, like cool. You know, it's like a lot of names.
That's all my questions. Thank you very much for your time. If you're in Japan and you have time and you kind of want to experience this kawaii Unko culture, then I think it's a great place to go. Also, if you have kids and maybe you just started potty training or something like that, the kids can practice sitting on toilets. Have you ever been to the Unko Museum or would you like to go? What do you think of this Unko culture in Japan? I would love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time. Bye!